Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and this is week 19 of my doing 100 weeks of YouTube videos and focusing on living a healthy and happy life. So, yay for week 19. I have to be totally honest. I have been keeping track of my weight and the things that I've been doing, but I haven't been making my videos for a few weeks or months. It's very bad of me. So, I'm just gonna do starting where I'm at, starting with this last week. So I did weigh myself and I am at about 246, I believe. So yay. Going down. I finally got under 250. I'm so happy about that. I have to say, so happy about that. And I have been so good. Like, I've cheated a little bit, like out to eat a few times and stuff like that, which is not good, but I've been really good at not eating all the candy and all the treats and all the stuff that people bring into work. Like, there's cake that people brought into work and I'm like, not touching it. And anything that has milk or sugar, I'm just like doing my best to stay away from all of that. So I'm very proud of myself for that. But this past week I was house sitting, dog sitting, and not quite as good because I stayed away from sugar. I did stay away from sugar, but homemade bread, so it had the gluten in it, which I should not be having because I think I don't know if it's the wheat flour or the white flour, but it kind of makes my mouth sore. And I noticed when I was eating it that it was kind of upsetting my tummy for eating the bread. So I just don't think my body likes I love whole wheat bread and I love homemade bread. So I need to learn how to make my own bread. I attempted it once with the oat flour and it didn't turn out very good. So I need to try it again, but I haven't for a while. So gotten really behind on my dishes. But I did stay at Mom and Dad Shoemaker's this past week and I took care of the dog. And they had two dogs. Well, they were watching a dog for someone else and then they have their own dog and then they went out of town, so I got to watch both dogs. So I got to house sit and take care of dogs and go outside and throw the ball around and do stuff like that with the dogs and take them for a walk. And so that was my week, and I got to eat their food, which was nice. I did bring some of my own food over there because I just wanted to make sure that I was eating stuff that doesn't have dairy in it. And of course, all of their stuff has dairy in it. And I've had a cold for, I don't know, I had a cold like a month ago, almost a month and a half ago. And I think the cold went away and I think I got like thrush or some kind of yeast infection in the back of my throat. So I kept hoping it was going to go away and it wasn't going away. So I finally caved and saw one of those doctors online and got some medication. And the pharmacist was really nice. And he was like, you have 2 weeks worth, but it's really expensive and you don't have insurance. So I'm going to give you a half a dose, which is like a third of the price for a week. And he's like, if it gets better in a week, great. And if not, you can always come back and get the other half. And I was like, cool. But then it's going to knock off a third of the price because it was literally a third of the price as 2 weeks worth. So I was like, cool. So I am very grateful for that. So I am attempting to take care of myself health-wise. I did spend an entire week exercising in spite of being sick and thought maybe that would just work it out of my system, and it did not. And I've spent several weekends just laying around trying to sleep it off, and that hasn't worked either. So missed a lot of church doing that and didn't seem to make a difference. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna go about my life until my body decides to let go of whatever this is. So anyway, that's where I'm at with a lot of the physical stuff. Socially, I did actually go to church this weekend, and I actually walked to church, which was nice. I haven't done that in a long time. And I actually went to the temple, so that was nice. I haven't been very good at like calling friends or checking up on people, so that's not very good of me. Just socializing at work, which isn't very socializing. I need to do better at socializing. Emotionally, I did write in my journal like 2 or 3 times this week, which really helped me a lot. But I've noticed that I have really high anxiety right now, and my paranoia is just like going crazy. And Mom and Dad Shoemaker have like this alarm that I set like for indoors, and you have to turn it off before you leave. And I keep forgetting to turn the alarm off. I set it off once, and I called them, and I was like, "Oh, Mom, I set off the alarm." And she's like, "Okay." So she called the alarm company, and then so the police wouldn't come out and check to make sure I didn't do anything. And then I set it off on Saturday when they were like on a plane on the way back, and I was like, oh my gosh, I set off the alarm again. I'm so screwed because there's nobody to call the insurance company to cancel it. But I think I opened the garage door, so it was okay. So it didn't actually call the alarm, the company. It let me just disarm it, and it was okay. So I was like, okay. But I was freaking out the entire time, and I kept thinking the police are going to come, and just on edge and anxious and just not trusting myself and not trusting my higher power that everything was okay. Like just very too much emotional. So I really need to work on my grief stuff, and I really need to do better at journaling. And spiritually, like I said, I haven't been to church. Well, I went to church this last Sunday, but like the last 3 or 4 weeks I haven't gone because I haven't felt well. And so I just haven't been going. And then I just feel like it, and I've been trying to read my scriptures and meditationals, but then I just don't get up early in the morning because I'm tired and I don't want to. And so then I just don't have time. So I just do some, but not all. So the crazy thing is I'm learning, I'm realizing, I'm recognizing that when I cheat on my goals and I don't do all of the things that I want to do, the only person that I'm really hurting by doing that, I mean, besides anybody that's watching these videos, I apologize. I'm just, that's just showing my imperfections and my humanness, really. But I'm just really hurting myself. And so if I really want to be happy and I really want to be better, I really need to be more consistent with my goals. And by not being consistent with myself and with my goals, I'm hurting myself. And like I went to physical therapy today, and I forgot that I had to do 3 sets of something, and I was like, and then I realized after I walked away, and I was like, I am not going back and doing more wall push-ups. I'm done. But I just, but I was supposed to do 3 sets, and I only did 2, and then I realized after I'd already walked away from the wall, and I was like, nope, not going back. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, but the only person I'm hurting is myself, because if I really want to get better, if I really want to strengthen those muscles and make them so they don't hurt all the time, then I really need to do all of my exercises and not just cut it short just because I don't want to. And I find myself doing a lot of things just because I don't want to, or rather not doing a lot of things just because I'm like, I'm too tired or I just don't want to. But I am recognizing that as long as I keep making those excuses, like there's always some excuse, as long as I keep using all of my excuses, I'm still going to be hurting and I'm still going to be miserable, and I'm not going to obtain the goals that I want to reach because, or it's taking a lot longer. Like I'm not exercising, so I'm not building muscles and I'm not losing the weight as quickly as I would like to. So even though I'm eating fairly healthy most of the time, it's not helping me by not exercising. So there's a lot of that just kind of going on that I haven't been doing. So, so I kind of drop emotionally, spiritually, all of that. So I definitely need to do better. Mentally, I've mostly just been taking care of mom and dad and the dogs and trying to remember to set alarms. Quite the mental exercise. Plus all the new stuff at work. I'm almost off of probation, so I'm excited about that. Still learning a few things. So still kind of a learning thing. Haven't done any writing this past week. Thought about it, but I haven't done any, so got nothing on that. I have done a couple of chapters and shared last month at my writing group, so that's good, but still need to work on that. Financially, I'm pretty sure I'm just digging a hole and getting deeper and deeper into debt instead of out of it. And I feel like even with my new job, and I'm like, this is supposed to be able to pay all of my bills, and somehow, even though I'm making more money, I think I must have made more money at my last job doing what I was doing before, because I could at least pay bills. Maybe they were a little bit late, but I could pay them. And right now, the amount of money that I'm making, I'm just not being able to pay my bills. I'm always short, like the utilities. I could pay everything but the utilities. And I'm like, great, well, if I don't put gas in my car and I don't eat food, then I can pay my utilities. But I gotta put gas in my car and I gotta eat food. And the gas prices are so high and the food costs so much more that it's just kind of like I'm at a loss for that. And then I keep thinking of things that I could do, like write my books or publish my books, and I haven't done that yet. And I have my song. I need to talk to my friend and see if she's finished recording it so I can publish that. But that's going to cost money to copyright and to, put online. But once it's out there, I might actually be able to recuperate some of that money. Maybe not a lot, because, it's kind of one song at this point. I haven't written any more. I haven't done any more. So I'm just kind of like, so a lot of things are just kind of sitting in limbo right now, which is really kind of frustrating. And I have a lot of medical stuff and things that are coming up that I need to be able to pay for. And I ended up having to pay to get new tires on my car, and that was like really expensive. So I'm putting all of that stuff on a credit card that I have no means of paying off right now, because that's an extra bill that I didn't have before, and I still already can't pay my utilities. So how am I supposed to pay that on top of everything else? So I'm just, like I said, digging a hole deeper and, thinking, okay, well, the way out is going to be to publish my books and to make some money off of that. And it won't be a lot of money, but it might be enough to cover those expenses. And obviously, when I'm done with physical therapy and other things, I will eventually get some money for this car accident so I can go back and pay off everything that I've built up. But I don't want to build up too much and cause too many problems for myself financially in the interim, because that's not a good idea either. So I'm kind of struggling with the whole finance thing, just like I'm struggling with everything else. So that's kind of where I'm at this week. I'm just sort of like, So, but something that does keep replaying in my brain, and I should probably mention, it was a couple of months ago. Like I said, I'm behind on all my videos, but I try to retain the information of everything I did every week so I could try to remember it and make all the individual videos. And I just decided I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to go from where I'm at right now and move forward. But there was a thing for service missionaries where they had like a little kind of like a potluck dinner thing, and I didn't take anything for it because it happened to be on a Saturday night when I was working at the temple, and I told her I was going to be working at the temple. She's like, come anyway. And then she's like texting me, and I got out of the temple and I'm like texting her. I'm like, okay, I'm on my way over there. So I went and pretended to socialize, and I say pretended because I'm really not good at socializing, and I didn't bring a swimsuit so I could just put my feet in the water. And I talked to a few people when they came over and talked to me, and then it was kind of like just standing around and watching everybody doing stuff and not really in a conversation. And I get really bored doing that, and I just really don't know. Like, there wasn't a game for me to jump into and play. There wasn't food that I could go and eat. I kind of ate what I could, and I was just kind of like, there's nothing for me to do. So then I just left, because I still feel socially awkward in situations like that. I just don't know what to do, and I feel like the crazy wallflower standing around waiting for somebody to come talk to me, or not even knowing like people there that I could talk to or see. But I was like, I just, like, they're all speaking in Spanish and I don't speak Spanish, or they're, having a conversation with someone else, and I feel like I'm just eavesdropping, and I'm like, should I butt into the conversation? Should I walk away from the conversation? Yeah. So eventually I just felt too awkward and I just left. And they're like, oh, you're leaving? It's so sad. You're leaving. Bye. We're going to miss you. And I was like, yeah, we're not even talking to each other or having a conversation, but thanks for noticing that I'm leaving. So bye. Just me in social situations, just not the best. So but I tried, and I went, and there was a ward party gathering thing that I wanted to go to, and then I ended up not going to because I wasn't feeling good, and I'm okay with that, because at that point I had a really bad cold and I was coughing and hacking all over the place, and I was like, not gonna give that to anybody. So, and I also got brave and overcame my fear, and I took my kids to see their grandparents, and it was like what was it, like 2.5, 3 hour drive from when I picked them up to take them up there. So it was quite the drive, and I hadn't made that long of a trip since my car accident, so that was very emotional for me, but I did it. And then of course I hung around and socialized with my ex's mom while my kids went out with their papa and did fun stuff outside with them on their quads and stuff. So they had a great time and they enjoyed it, but me, I was just kind of like, and it was nice. I actually had a nice time too, and I actually got to work on a puzzle and stuff like that. So it was very enjoyable. It just kind of was hard for me because of the whole driving thing. So I freaked out a bit, but I did it, and I know that God was helping me to do that, and I'm so grateful for that. So I have been doing things, like I said, pushing myself, but just not making videos about it. So I need to do better about that. And I need to do better about not making excuses as to why I'm not doing things, but I need to remember that I'm doing them because I want to be happy. And making these videos makes me happy. And being consistent with my goals makes me happy. And I heard somebody at the temple on Saturday, and they were saying that this is their happy place. And they had a job that they used to think this is my happy place. And then their job got really hard because things just got really crazy. And they were able to retire from their job. They'd been there long enough so they could retire. But then they were looking for a new happy place, and they realized that they were just smiling all day, and they're like, this must be my new happy place. And I was thinking, where is my happy place? And I realized I'm not really sure where my happy place is, but I know that I'm happy when I make these videos, and I know I'm happier when I write in my journals at night, and I know that I'm much happier when I'm happy writing my books. When I'm sitting down and doing that, I get excited, I get emotional, I get into it, and then I'm happy and I'm excited and I love doing it. And I just keep putting up walls and not doing it, and I just think it's so crazy. I don't know why I do that, but I put up walls to avoid doing the things that make me happy when I should be going out of my way to do the things that make me happy. So I kind of have this, I guess my system, my brain is set up some kind of default mechanism to make myself miserable. So I guess if I make myself miserable and unhappy, then nobody else can. And then I can protect myself from being hurt by other people. But then I'm hurting myself and I'm still miserable. And so if I want to be happy, I need to stop getting in my way and stop making excuses and start letting myself do things that make me happy. So it's not easy to change. It's not easy to make those changes or to be consistent, because I'm not very consistent, haven't had a lot of consistency in my life. So other than I know that God has always been there in my life, that's probably been the one constant in my whole life, no matter what, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent. So that is what I have for today. So if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great week full of gratitude and find ways to live a happy and healthy life too.